Good evening. I'd like to welcome you all to Fantasy Breakouts. Me and my buddy, Mr. Erik Sandstrom. Me, myself, Pat Jackson, Action Jackson, however you want to put it. But yeah, man, we decided to start this little podcast just to talk about fantasy and our outlooks, our opinions and whatnot. We feel like we have a lot to offer and a lot of value for other people. So let's get right into it. So I think, first of all, we can start talking about the game just ended. Any surprises there, Erik?
I guess just overall the game flow. I think the Titans got exactly what they wanted out of that game. They wanted to get ahead. They wanted to just take advantage of Josh Allen being a little bit risky when he's playing from behind. The guy's talented, but I think that just was like as soon as they got the lead, and things have started to kind of just unravel for the Bills. But I bet if they were to play again, I think that they'd have a close game. I mean, I don't know, it's just kind of how things went. But yeah, it's all like Darrington Evans actually got quite a bit of work and have Derrick Henry. So I was just watching that, but Derrick Henry looked great. The whole Titans offense looked really, really good.
Would you think that's more of them saving him because of all the injuries so far?
Yeah, you'd think so, but I mean, they just had 2 weeks off, so I don't know. I guess maybe not giving them all that one workload on one night after that long of time off. So
I think as a fantasy owner, you should not be complaining. Let's put it like that. Obviously, Derrick Henry could have had a monster night, but at the same time, he got 2 touchdowns.
Yeah.
That's 6 points. Even you could have 15 yards and 2 touchdowns, and you better not complain. Like, it is what it is. I look at it, you still got a healthy back, especially with all the backs that have been going down. And I don't know, maybe that 2-week delay or whatever gave him a lot more time to game plan towards Josh Allen. He's had a great year so far. They might have been able to scheme a couple more different things, and maybe they saw something, some look or see some defensive scheme a couple weeks back that somebody should stay with, and they didn't. Found a weakness. You never know. Moving on, obviously, with all this stuff been altered and whatnot, Fab or waiver wire has been adjusted accordingly. Obviously, check with your league you're in. As far as running backs, to start with that, that's always the most important spot, man. It's crazy because I was just about to pick up Mr. Mattison in your league last week. And instead, I went with Harris. Time will tell. Obviously, Mattison's a very talented back. He could probably be a starter in 90% of teams. Honestly, he's very good. But it's just Dalvin Cook, and I just, sometimes fantasy took the left or right decision. And it doesn't work out all the time. What would you, push comes to shove? And let's keep it, be clear about this. This has nothing to do with you. Like, this is not your team. This is not Dalvin Cook's not your starting running back, because that's a different story, right? But if this is just you, speculative ad, but obviously it's a higher price ad or whatnot, what are you valuing down or Mattison at this point?
Well, with the runs that Cook can put together, like with the blocking that they put together, the scheme, he's just going to get that little bit more yardage, a little bit more work done per game. And he's going to get more of emphasis by the team, even though, they just paid him. If they don't give him the ball, they're criticized every week. They're, right now they're a losing football team. So they have to give Dalvin Cook the ball. And with him not there, I think you are getting, 85 to maybe 90% of Dalvin Cook, but you're not going to get the full Dalvin Cook in Mattison. They're just a little bit different guys. And then you're going to see the backups are going to be playing a little bit more. With the league, they probably roster more running backs than almost any other team. I know the Packers, I think they have four guys on their active roster, and the Vikings do too. Next week they're playing, and against the Falcons, he's probably going to go crazy. So that's your week. But then they have a bye week, so you might only get Mattison for a week. And then do you hold him over that bye week? Do you let him go? That's going to be a tough decision. So that's what kind of keeps me away from maybe selling out and using the number one waiver spot. If I need a running back, I'm doing it. But these weeks are, these are going to be really important weeks coming up, middle of the season to end of the season. So I'd use it if I needed a running back. I'd go number one waiver wire, or maybe up to $20 for Fant.
$20. Like you said, it's kind of tough, man, because when you are, it depends on what situation you're in. If you're sitting at 4-1 or 1-4, that's your starter. And how much fab you got left, man. I've seen some people go through $40 already. It's like, you guys do realize out of all seasons, you do need this fab. It's very important. But like you said, it kind of depends on, if you really need them. Because it could be a 1 week, and I wouldn't say that it could be. I could say about a 2 or 3, because he has shown almost flex standalone value at some points. And even if they try to ease Dalvin back slowly but surely, just obviously with everything going on with the league, how many people, ACLs, God forbid, all that type of stuff, they might kind of cradle him shortly, because they don't want to push him too much. But man, I'd say 14.
Yeah, 14, 15.
14. If you are a person like in our league, I'm suggesting he use about 17.
Just slightly.
Yeah.
I'm certain for running back.
Definitely. When somebody's hurt for running backs, you need to go out and use that. Okay. What about and this is a popular one, man. I've had this guy in my league for weeks because we knew this coming in the season. Like, this guy wasn't for sure. This man started off in Miami. He didn't do anything. Now, even Miami is not the best situation, but he came over and he had a 4 or 5 game stretch last year, was dominant, right? But I have never fully believed in Kenyon Drake. Now, we've seen Chase Edmonds. We've seen this man with a little, he gets 5 to 8 touches, give or take, and he makes something happen. So I firmly believe that something was going to, slowly but surely, if it hasn't already, shift towards more of Chase Edmonds. How's your outlook on it? How are you valuing Chase Edmonds at this point?
Yeah, if he's available, I looked it up. He's in about 64% of he's owned in about 64% of leagues, so that's well over half. If he's out there, I think he's more valuable than. I think he's better than having a handcuff, even though the Mattison thing came up this week. But yeah, he's catching 5 balls a game. I think every game he's gotten that, and I can't see that going down. And then he has I think he only had like 3 or 4 carries, but you got to expect that to go up. He played so good, and he's somebody that I really really like. And I've had. I'm just been waiting for it too, but I don't have him right now. So yeah, he's a great person. I think I'd almost want to spend as much as, if he's out there, almost as much as Mattison on him. I mean, I think you got to be getting close. That's a good offense too. You get a piece of.
It's rolling, yeah. I was just gonna say, like, what would you? Because like you said, Mattison's a great back given, but situation that could be a 3-week rental at best. I mean, you never know. Right. God forbid injuries, but I think Edmonds, he's always going to have a role. He's multiple times he scored at least 10 points or more. And I think he'll always be there. He'll be relevant, fantasy relevant to begin with. And so another running back, this is speculative, but, Tony Pollard, obviously, just given the vibe around the league, man, a lot of people are going down with injuries and whatnot. You see Dak went down. That's unfortunate, but we can look at this both ways. We can look at it being they're going to stack the box and make Andy Dalton throw the ball. That could be more opportunity for Zeke, or with that being said, Zeke could get hurt, So are you adding Tony Pollard at the moment?
Yeah, I think if you can't get these first 2 and you don't really have anybody starter quality, why not? It's not going to hurt having him on your bench. Because like you said, they might go more run heavy. And I think in games when you may see Dak, he maybe would have put up 400 yards and 300 or 3 touchdowns for fun. they're not going to be doing that anymore. If they can win a game, they're probably going to be winning it the old way they used to back when Dak was a rookie, or with Dalton in there. They're probably going to not give him the keys to the car. I think they're going to be running the ball. So yeah, that's going to give him more opportunities. And on the other side of things, it couldn't lead to Zeke getting hurt. So yeah, I like it. I'd probably go half. I mean, I think he might be somebody that I would put, maybe a few dollars on for fab, a few percent.
Mm-hmm.
And then he might be one of the Pat Jackson special, get up at 5, 6 a.m., clean it up in the morning, pick them up in the morning.
Hey,
what do you think?
It depends on your roster space, and at the same time, man, every league, every team, every manager's in a different scenario situation. If you know somebody is going to be down bad without Zeke, this might be a striking opportunity. That's all. If you got that, bench space, with the IR slots in some league, there's different scenarios. But I would take him. But honestly, I wouldn't spend any money right now. I personally wouldn't. I'll just wait for something to happen. That's my approach on it.
Yeah, we're playing against each other. It's not just, you might not be only looking at your roster. You might be looking at another guy
mm-hmm.
that has Zeke, and this is a competitive game. So that's your move. If something happens to him, look what you got.
Now, yeah, like with that being said, if I got Zeke, I hope I got time. And the same thing with, Alvin Kamara. I drafted Alvin Kamara in the league. I'm definitely taking Latavius Murray. He's not going anywhere. There's no way. I mean, there's going to be some weeks. I think 2 weeks back, you could have played both of them. Especially with Drew Brees, not being the old Drew Brees of that we know, but some of these running backs, they have that double type of worth. Not to say Tony Pollard does at all right now. Let's be clear. But then, like, another cuff, Darrell Williams. CEH he's a great running back. He's a great little agile, but little. It only takes one of those big dudes to kind of pop him, man. I wouldn't be surprised, I have him cuffed on I have a dynasty league, and I have him cuffed. I don't think I can drop him. He's not doing anything, but man, just imagine his worth if he were to ever go down. And we've seen that with even last year when the other running back that set out due to COVID and whatnot, when he went down, Darrell Williams was eating. That offense is so running back friendly. I would make that case more than a couple of them, but okay. So let's move on to the receivers, Erik. Obviously, the receiver of the week, Mr. Notre Dame. Man, he ate. It was, as a Juju owner, it was very frightening, man. Very frightening, frustrating, however you want to put it. Like, what is going on, man? I do respect that, but it was like everything. Ben was the one play he had. Ben turned the other way, checked straight. He was going to him the whole time. They designed all these plays for him. It was just like Claypool's. You're in his world, and everybody else is just a part of it. Now, how much would you spend on him?
Yeah, with him, let's say you have somebody that maybe is getting you just semi, boring points right now. He's not scoring touchdowns. He's your wide receiver 3, but you don't know if you can trust him. But he's got a name to him. I guess I would have said maybe AJ Brown before tonight, but I don't know, somebody like that where they have a big name. I might be trying to trade them for Chase Edmonds and then going after Claypool tonight. Just something like. It just looks like this is the kind of guy that it's worth the risk if he doesn't really exceed what our expectations are right now. It's fine, but he could win you a lot of games. Probably not the best thing to tell you, but right now. But I'd say probably in the more $25 to $30 range, and that I think that's an easy use your first waiver position. I mean, because we just had Justin Jefferson 2 weeks ago, I think is when he was widely available. And that was like this, but I think this guy's got a little more meat on him, and I think this is someone maybe you can be more confident with. Whereas we kind of want, I think everybody wanted to see it maybe one more time with Justin Jefferson.
It's crazy you brought that up because I was actually going to compare that because I think Justin Jefferson in the league I was in went for 20.
Yeah.
I'd tell you right now, I was not going that high. Like I said, man, it does depend on your team and whatnot. But some of these people, you got to remember, man. Playing in fantasy so long, sometimes it's just a couple guys have a couple bad weeks, but it's their team. If you're down bad and you got to risk it for the biscuit, I look at it. I don't even know if I wouldn't just because of the league I'm in with that scenario. I will use my top for waiver priority without a doubt. But as far as 2020, I'm not even in that race. I won't even do that because I look at it as, bro, it's a long season, and I think that there's going to be a lot of this. Even with you got to think about with the COVID list even coming out, and more teams are being adjusted bye-week wise, right? You never know. You might right now when we drafted a team, even if you didn't pick up anybody, right? You could have week 9 being that week. We're gonna have to make some move, some waves or moves, how you want to put it. But now, since with all this altering, now it's almost like week 6 is getting pushed up. With the charges and stuff like that, they're being adjusted. It's like, am I going to donate a league or donate a win to somebody? Because some of these players are worth picking up, but at the same time, it's not worth dropping them to make. So I think this year is going to be a great opportunity for fantasy managers to really show off their skills, man. Because there's going to be some times where you just kind of got to bite the bullet, man. With that being said, I think a lot of the leagues are going to be really medium, honestly. At the end of the year, I think we're going to have some 8-win teams, but I think a lot of them are going to be lower than that. The lower half is going to be a lot more together, based off that type of stuff. There's going to be so many scenarios and stuff like that. So, moving on to the next, Mike Williams. Is this the quarterback that's going to finally make Mike Williams? I mean, he's always been solid, but man, he just throwing it up. He's going to get it.
Yeah. It makes me nervous. Like every time he's like what 6'4", 6'5", maybe even about that, and he's just jumping up like 10 feet above the rim and just coming down on his back, which he had herniated disc and like other issues a couple of years ago. That just makes me nervous as hell, but he is a beast. Yeah, if Herbert, I think he's gotten. I mean, that just watching that Saints game looks like he's got some trust with him for sure. Mm-hmm. So it's pretty exciting. But I mean, the guy scares the hell out of me for getting injured. So it's just if you watch him play, he's landing on his back 5 times a game. So I don't know. I probably maybe $5, and then maybe he's not my first guy for waiver, but yeah, it's exciting. He's got some skills. I mean, he's the number 6 overall draft pick, so I mean, he's got the pedigree too.
And like you said, it's never been talent, it's never been question. It's more just that durability, man. He's been out so much, and it's like but it's crazy though because he was questionable, not gonna play. Oh, I guess he's playing. Goes out and puts up 30. He has that type of potential and whatnot. It's just very it's frustrating as an owner, but like you said, I won't even go all out for that. I probably throw a couple dollars, $4 to $5. Who cares? It depends on your roster. At the same time, if you're really hurting, if you don't have true depth, 4 to 5 receivers you can count on, maybe a flex or something like that, or maybe a bye week's coming up. Yes, but then at the same time, they do have a bye week, so
they do. Yeah.
What about Laviska Shenault?
Yeah, I watching him like at the combine, and like I just know he's a tank. He looks like a running back, and he's bigger than I thought he was going to be. Like I think he's 6'2" and like 225. But yeah, I like the way he's just getting involved now. So and I think he's playing with some receivers that I think he can pass up, and it's the Jags. They're going to be losing like every game, so garbage time points is, that's half the battle sometimes in winning a matchup. So I really like him. I'd probably go same. I mean, yeah, it sounds like I'm just burning through all my money, but it's like you put all his money, you put the money down, you're only going to get one or two. So
Exactly.
yeah, so I'd probably go $5 probably, maybe even a couple more, maybe just 6 just to get them. I think you can get away with that. And maybe my second waiver order of if you don't get Claypool, I think walk away with him, or Mike Williams would be pretty solid.
And you can make the case that you'd rather have this Shenault because how they use him, like you said, they're giving handoffs. He's in the back,
Mm-hmm.
they're doing the vert. They're doing so much different. He's involved in offense, no matter what. He's going to be involved. So he almost has a much safer floor, quote unquote. And not to say that Herbert and Williams don't have a connection, but how many times this year, I mean, in general, have you seen this guy go for 22 yards, but he had 4 pass interferences? And that's his game. That's Mike Williams' game most of the time. And you can see it's like sometimes you wish that it would count towards your guy, but that's a different conversation, different day. But
they one day.
Yeah, you can almost make a defense for that, but at the same time, in some leagues, you remember how they'll kind of make that guy running back label, running back / receiver.
Yeah.
I wonder if it's going to come to that because I can see that with him, just how much they generally use him in every type of. Given James Robinson, shout out 815. James Robinson, he's handling his business, man. He's going to work. Yeah, man, I like what they're doing. They're using a lot of young talent. Just got a lot of stuff at you. And like you said, their defense is not what it used to be. And they got some injuries. Miles Jack and everything went down. So they're going to be in some shootouts. What about remember a couple years ago, Curtis Samuel was one of the biggest, he's going to break out. It just did not happen. And I'll tell you personally, I thought it would be a great opportunity for me. I thought Teddy would be feeding him. I thought Teddy would be feeding him before Robby Anderson, honestly.
Right.
So I'm still throwing out about that, but Teddy, he's a game manager, but Teddy's throwing the ball. He is slinging it. And I think things are only going to keep opening up when McCaffrey gets back. But I'd say honestly for Curtis, I'd probably give him $3. That's one of those people I'm going to pick up with nobody for free. I'm going to pick him up for free.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I think if you're in a deep league, I'd roster him. I think otherwise I'm looking, like you said, for handcuffs or maybe one of these young quarterbacks. But I like him. I mean, of course, I like the guy. It just looks like there's not a lot of meat on the bone with how much they have Robby Anderson involved. It's insane, like how much he's getting the ball. That is I think we're going to talk about it, but that is one of the biggest surprises for me. But he's obviously been a good football player. He's almost done the Mike Williams role for the Jets for so long. You didn't know that he can maybe get involved and be such a constant presence. So yeah, I think that's if it would have to for me, like if one of them went down though, DJ Moore or Robby Anderson, the same would be very valuable, I think. So, but I like the guy, just not a lot of touches, not enough touches. So I added the Travis Fulgham guy from the Eagles on the list. Old Dominion. I think he's a fourth. It's either a sixth round pick, I think. But the guy, he doesn't. He's not quite as fluid as like half the people on this list, but that guy has been getting open for the Eagles, and it's pretty. The way they're losing, the way the garbage time is coming around, I think I'd rather have him than Curtis Samuel. He had 13 targets last game. I mean, that's about the most in the week, right?
13 targets.
He had the game-winning touchdown against San Francisco, like just to ice the game. And he comes out 13 targets. I think he did get a touchdown last week, but he's all over. And he is just I don't remember the corner that he's just like baptizing in this corner. Like it was awful. But yeah, I like the guy, Travis Fulgham. Fulgham.
Somebody's thanking you right now. I can definitely see it. I mean, we both know that opportunities are king. No matter where you're at, opportunities are king. If you want somebody, if they're valuable, it's all about the opportunities. And the Eagles are very decimated receiver. I think Alshon might be back. I don't know. Who knows? But even at that, like Alshon has been productive, but he's more like 18 yards, 2 touchdowns.
Mm-hmm. Over the end zone.
Yeah, but between his 20s, I think if Fulgham continues to do this, I'll pick him up. Like you said, over at Kurt Samuel, because you can see him. He has a better opportunity, better floor ceiling compared to him at this point, definitely. I can see him being a reliable wide receiver 3 flex for now. It might go up, but once again, give me a situation. But that's one of those people that somebody else can take a flyer on, and I'm gonna pick him up for free. That's just
right. What's wrong with that?
Next one I want to talk about is Preston Williams. This man drives me crazy. I had him last year. I love the talent. It comes down to Fitzmagic, man. You don't know what you can get.
Mm-hmm.
And, they just demolished San Fran. Made them embarrassed. Jimmy G getting benched. It's just ugly. They messed them up. Now, Preston Williams was supposed to go off against Seattle, last week? Did absolutely nothing.
Right.
He had 20 points on the day. Like, obviously the talent's there, but I don't know if it's going to be playing this dark game with him, And some people can get on that train and time it correctly. Other people cannot. So right now, if Preston Williams is available and you need a wide receiver 3, how much are you spending?
Yeah, if I don't have any other piece of that Dolphins, Gesicki also playing receiver basically, and Parker playing receiver. He takes up quite a few passes, but with him, yeah, I think it's worth getting maybe a couple bucks on him. But I like the guy. I mean, I'm ACL biased, so he tore his ACL. I think it was like 10 months ago. I just can't believe he looks pretty solid, and I don't think I've seen him limping around doing a Dalvin Cook at the end of the game, like every week, like how Dalvin does it. But it just makes me a little worried, but a couple bucks.
Okay. I have him in Dynasty. I probably spend about $5 on him. And it depends on the scenario situation, and what league you're in, 10, 12, all that give or take.
Mm-hmm.
What about tight ends? I picked up Schultz in one league last week, and I was like, man, he's gonna, dominate. And then obviously with Dak going down, now keep in mind, remember that Andy Dalton did feed. He liked Tyler Eifert. He's in Cincinnati and whatnot, but I don't know, man. I think it's almost like a wait and see approach, because I think Dak made that offense way more than it's capable of being. That just having that Dak imprint compared to Andy Dalton, obviously is way better. But I don't know, man. If you have this, I know there's Noah Fant available in the league. I don't know if he's available next week or if he'll play next week, but Noah Fant's been good. Like, and he's a focal point of that offense. I think. I don't know, man. Well, I think I'd probably honestly give about 6 fab for him.
No Fant.
Yeah,
because I guess they're talking about Drew Lock's about to be back.
exactly.
I guess he's actually coming back, so I didn't even know he was that close. But yeah, I think he's a great option. With the Atlanta firing Dan Quinn, they have Dirk Cutter. I mean, he's the offensive coordinator, but he's like the tight end. Like, he's made men, like Austin Hooper, OJ Howard, both had the best years with him. So if Hurst can get something going, he could be available. I didn't look at the percent, but I mean, that's an option to me. But I love Noah Fant. I guess getting back to that, if you really need a tight end, I think with Drew Lock coming back, he's a great option. Yeah, Hurst, I guess maybe him and Hurst are probably close for me. You got Logan Thomas listed, but you got to see something out of Alex Smith. He probably was not ready to come into that game or something.
I mean, he's ready to piss his pants, man. Kudos to him, man. That's a strong recovery, man. That's that's a I'm clapping standing ovation, all that, man. I'm so happy for that, man. I don't know if you watched that documentary. That was deep, man.
Oh, no, I might check that out.
Yeah, it's be ready for it. I'll tell you that. But and I don't even know if he is fully there. I think they actually named the other guy the starter again. Ron Rivera did. I think he just has a thing for that guy, Kyle Allen. Obviously, he traded for him and everything, and okay. But, Kyle Allen's not that bad. He had those days, but at the same time, I'm thinking back to I remember when Alex Smith used to run things. I mean, he's never not been a productive quarterback. He's always, what you're going to get out of him. You're not going to get, Patrick Mahomes, and it's unfortunate he's compared to him. You're not going to get Kaepernick throwing out on the field, all that type of stuff, but you're going to get that game manager. I almost compare him to like a Teddy Bridgewater, like on the Vikings back in the days.
Right. But they're going with Kyle Allen. That's right, aren't they?
Yeah, I would. So, and the Logan Thomas is we don't know if it's a talent or any more opportunity with Dwayne Haskins. And then Dallas Goedert. I don't know. They might be up for Ertz. I don't. They might blow that whole thing up. To be honest, for the next couple weeks, I wouldn't be surprised if because if Wentz gets benched and they go with Hurt, young kid, it could change a lot of things up, man. They're already talking about before the season not trying to pay Ertz. He wants to stay, but they don't want to pay him. So,
yeah,
it might be that transition period for Goddard. So we've already known how good he is. Probably be a top 4 tight end, if not in the league, if the opportunity is his. He's already dominated with Ertz. So, but I don't know if he's back yet. He's on IR yet, but I'd still probably the same boat, probably 5 to 7 for him, fab-wise.
Yeah, I think you're getting ahead of the curve because, once that news comes out he's playing, that he's going to be expensive. So I like that. Getting a little bit ahead of the curve with him.
Exactly.
He's taking up a roster spot, so you got to keep that in mind.
Mm-hmm.
But I like that. Yeah, I put on Trey Burton. He's not very exciting, but I think that it just kind of is very concerning for Mo Alley Cox. If you picked him up, I mean, he might be droppable. Just tight ends getting very thin really quick. Like I thought at the beginning of the season, it was looking very good. Oh, Dalton Schultz, I'm going to pick him up if I need him, whatever. Now we're getting thin. So, now we're picking up hurt guys and questionable guys. So it's just where we're at. Can't do anything about it.
Can't do anything about it. 2 seconds. So how do you feel about honestly, man, we're going to talk about some injuries real quick. Who all is the Dak injury going to impact? You think everybody's not worth as much? Is Zeke value going up or going down?
I just think we're just knocking them down a peg, and then you just better be careful for the pass catchers. Because if they can just run it and win by 10, I think they're gonna.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's fine. I think you're still good with Zeke. I think there's a little bit of uncertainty with Zeke now, and I think we've seen it in our leagues where people are trying to either trade for him or trade him away right now. So
I think is it let's say a false goal to be trying to sell Zeke for a QB1, a wide receiver 1, and a tight end 1 or something? I've heard some audacious offers. Do you feel like what would you set Zeke's floor as? Like, what is his worth right
now? I think he's probably a step above Edwards-Helaire. I don't think he's Kamara. I don't think he's a healthy Dalvin Cook, but he's probably worth a slightly injured. I think he's better than a slightly injured Dalvin Cook.
Okay. And another injury, Keenan Allen. I think he had back spasms, and backs are nothing to play with, obviously. But what's going to come into play for the Chargers? They actually do have the bye week now. So that's going to obviously give them some more time to, recover whatnot. Go back and say, Mike Williams could go up. Hunter Henry might be going up as far as, a couple more targets and whatnot. I was blessed. You know, I have Keenan on my dynasty league, and I think love Tyrod, but Justin has just opened things up. He's spreading the ball, he's moving the ball. I think we all knew this was, you know, finally Anthony Lynn came out and said, you know, this is his car, he can drive it, whatever you want to put it. DJ Chark got hurt again. He might be one of those guys that just, you know, because you get too many dings in one, you know, sample size, it starts to take a toll on your body, man. Now, I don't know if it was that as concerning. I'd say if next couple, you know, he sits out next week and stuff like that, we might have to start looking elsewhere. But, woo.
Shenault deal, I think, too. I think that's part of the Shenault's been healthy.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
I took this down because it's incredible with Diante Johnson. Okay, so he was hurt August 25th with a calf. So that's before the season. This guy went into week 1 with a foot and a toe hurt. I think he had maybe turf toe or something. Week 3, he had a concussion. Week 4, he's now has his back. And I heard people talking about a hamstring. So he's gone almost a month straight with all different injuries. And that I don't know, that's a guy that I have some issues with. I love the guy. He's like a poor man's Antonio Brown to me almost with his route running, but it's just like, this is getting ridiculous. And he just he might be one of those guys this year, and it's not, you know, not his fault, but it's like, holy crap, like every week it's something. And he got us the 0.9 points 2 weeks ago, and then he outdid himself and he got -2 yards and 1 catch this week. You really outdone yourself this time.
I appreciate you, bud.
To at least go out and get, you know, but he's hurt in the first quarter. So
right now he's gonna sit on the bench. Hopefully he got some depth, because it's gonna take a couple weeks. I hope they just give him a couple weeks, you know, go lay up on a 2, whatever you want to say. It saddens me to say, man, it might be time to part ways with Mr. AJ Green.
I think we saw a little bit of it coming, but for you, I'm sure it's like you don't want to realize or believe that Santa's not real at a certain point. It's just like just the guy that you've loved for all your 20s, and he's just letting us down now.
You see him, you know, fall off, and he fell off quick. And with the merge of you know, T. Higgins and all that stuff, man, it's just very sad, man. But at the same time, you know, I took him in the draft for 6th round or something like this, so I don't think I overpaid for him. You know, it was a risk reward thing. He could have came out and been, you know, healthy AJ Green that we know and love, or this could happen. You know, he messed up his hamstring. They're out, so he's going to be out another 2 weeks, and then I think it's that time. It's unfortunate, sad, but I think especially right now with this next 4 weeks, I think are going to be extremely important. You know, make or break seasons, honestly, to me. And I don't think he's going to serve a purpose where he's even like, I'm looking at the team I have. I don't even think I'm going to put him in the flex. Even if everybody was hurt, I think I'd rather take a dart on somebody else. Like, it's bad. What about Julio?
He didn't play last week, right? I don't have him.
No, he started to play, and he was out by first half.
Yeah, that's right. Oh, man. Yeah, it's disappointing. I think you just got to hold on to him. I don't think he's a must start anymore, unless you're really in some bye week trouble just for the next 2 weeks. I just wait it out maybe.
You know, Julio's Julio. He's gonna get his. I don't know what's wrong with the Falcons, but that's why they just changed stuff up. Because how do you re-aggravate it that quick? Why is he out there to begin with? Playing the Packers, you guys are 0-4. It's not probably going to happen to begin with. You got your little pride. I feel you on that. But at the same time, what are you doing? My team in one league has Devontae and Julio. So it's been, fantasy struggles. It is what it is. I'm frustrated with that, but I think it'll pay off in the end. Couple weeks, hopefully they just sit him down. He doesn't do anything. That'd be the perfect thing. Dalvin Cook, like we talked about, we mentioned him earlier. I think he'll be out 2 to 3 weeks to me, just because I think they're not with everything going on. And growing is tricky, man. It's one of the soft tissue. Like, it's just tricky. you never know how he could respond personally. And then, like you said, he already has a history with, the ACL. He's already looking like I don't want to say a Derrick Rose, but sometimes he is walking around a little funny. Protecting your investments, there's no point in really risking him unless he's healthy. But obviously, you want to, if Dalvin's healthy, you're going to play him, period. Let's see. Give me three of your top healthy fantasy busts right now. Looking back at the draft, and they've been healthy the whole time. They're playing every week, but have done nothing.
I haven't really gotten put in a corner where I've had these guys, but I'd have to go with Le'Veon Bell. That's tough if you grabbed him in third or fourth round because you waited at running back. I mean, that he's just been out, and it's just not looking good for his outlook unless he gets scooped up by somebody, which he very well could. That needs a running back. I don't know. But then again, he's going to get put in that same position that he is now. So DJ Moore, I think I wanted to get him in drafts more, but it just didn't kind of work out, and I'm not mad about it. I mean, he's not the number one, and he was basically every sign said he would be. I did the whole Ben Roethlisberger kind of safer guy, and then Daniel Jones as a kind of a late flyer. Not that really has hurt my teams very much, but it is just crazy how horrible the Daniel Jones has looked, even in like the easiest matchups. I mean, just he's struggling. He looks off balance. He's just doesn't look right. So I gotta have him in there.
I think personally for me, Kenyon Drake, which I already talked about.
Right.
And I didn't have faith in him, to be honest with you. I'm based this off everybody else's projections and pre-draft selections, however you want to put it. You could honestly make a strong case that Lamar Jackson has not done Lamar Jackson things. You got to think some of these people took him in the back of the first. I've seen. Yeah, and from what he did last year, obviously you should expect regression of some sort. But man, he's just even what they played Cincinnati the other day, like he should have ate, whether it's on the ground or in the air, and that's why you draft him. You draft him to be the best dual threat quarterback overall. I have him on the team, and I was expecting a little more. He's I think quarterback like 14 or 15 right now.
Yeah, I can see people getting upset hearing that.
So, but obviously I'm not giving up on him at all. Don't have any intention on doing that. But we need to get that in gear, bud. That's how I look at it. I think my last one is Mark Ingram, but not. I almost want to say that whole entire Ravens backfield is my favorite, if that's possible, because they just been decide. There's not one person taking the reins. It's almost like a Patriots, carousel, and that's really frustrating. Obviously, Mark Ingram's, on the wrong side of 30, yada, yada. You got this young kid, J.K. Dobbins, but it's like they don't know what to do with him. They don't know if they want to throw him in, even though he's done good, but we're not going to commit to him. And then you still got Gus Edwards being, your captain, your leader. We're going to put him in there for the hard situations. It's like, man, I think we had a lot more, a lot of people took J.K. as that guy who was going to take over the backfield, I guess, and that's not happened at all. I traded for him a couple weeks back in the league, just thinking like, first month, I'm still waiting. And it's not looking at it. It looks like it's going to take an injury to one or both, which obviously, they could be in the same mindset. They want to protect everybody, keep everyone healthy. But, man, next up, how do you feel about what's your approach with IR and COVID slots, man? I had, for instance, in this one league, the commissioner decided the other day with, the Bills game being a toss-up, essentially. It was up in the air. He said that I'm going to allow you to sub in somebody additionally if they don't end up playing. How do you feel about that? How do you feel about allowing that Pandora's box? How am I looking at it?
I lean the way of risk it. That's your risk almost. If they're playing games on a Tuesday, who knows what? Maybe it's going to be a Wednesday one week, but I think you should be factoring it in. And I'd be Because if you're the person playing that person and you get the foresight of knowing how many points your bench guy got, maybe you even add another quarterback in after you hear about that rule, and then you're using one of the best quarterbacks that week and subbing them out. But that is, I don't know, that's tough. But I'd probably just say you're risking it. We'll add another bench spot. We'll never add another IR spot. I'd rather lean that way, just because it could get a little dicey and maybe some emotions will flare up with people.
And, piggyback off what you're saying, I'm just going to say no.
Yeah.
And the reason why is, man, we start doing this, when's it going to stop? You open that Pandora's box, man.
Mm-hmm.
And, obviously people are going to get salty. Obviously, when they're on the good side of things, everything's kosher. But when they end up losing by 5, now they're in their face and complaining, no, we're going to avoid that. I'm immediately going to write that off. That's not going to happen. Because, what's the difference between that and saying, oh, this guy has a hamstring injury on a Monday night. He might play. There's no difference.
Mm-hmm.
Part of the reason that you play fantasy or fantasy, there is luck involved. There is some stuff that you cannot control without a doubt. We can sit here and talk about this. Stuff happens any given Sunday. Like, for instance, I had last Monday, I had Diante and Julio both questionable on a Monday night game. So now I had to go out and get 2 receivers and play that game just to save that spot for that Monday night, because you can't go down 0-2. I could use those spots for somebody potential, Cuff, a Mattison, and that's part of the game when it comes to fantasy football. Now, if you sit there and keep telling people that, oh, don't worry about it, this week, who do you want? Okay, this is your sub. It gets too messy, man. It can be the trickle effect. And at the same time, people can there's some people in there, like I said, they be poor sports, how we look at it. The one week, oh, yeah, that's cool. That's fine. When they're winning, when they're in a position to come up of it on top. Whereas when they're on the other side of things, they end up losing because of that. All hell broke loose. One thing to be in the league for $10, which I don't think anybody does anymore, but it's another thing to be in the league for $200, And that could be definitely a point swing right there, and that could be some frustration.
Well, if I'm a commissioner, in my league, if they want more bench spots or something, or if they want more IR spots just to be ready for it, I'm definitely game to listen and maybe, if we get a group to vote on it, it's easier for me.
It's a vote. Everything that we do is up to a vote. I think that's the smartest way to approach about it. And obviously, even that situation, they could be pulling some, we start off the year doing this, and then there's always going to be those people that don't vote. They're always going to be, blah, 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 even because they didn't vote against it. But, some of those things, man, just like, it's better just say, all right, it is what it is. That's how it is. Good luck. Sorry. But just to avoid that backlash, what are your biggest surprises so far with this NFL season?
You hear it that Russ is gonna go off, or Russ is gonna be in control of the games, and he just really has. Some of those plays against the Vikings when they were going 3 and out, they weren't running it nonstop or anything, but I think once they were like, we're losing, we need to get it going. He gets it going, and they're gone, and they kick your ass. It's crazy, but yeah, it's cool to watch that. And losing Dak, you lose a little bit of that kind of offense to watch. But you gotta, if you're a Seahawks fan, they need them, and they're letting them take over games now. It's pretty sweet. The Panthers situation with now I'm blanking on everybody's name. I'm getting tired.
That's all right. Yeah, Robby Anderson.
Yeah, Robby Anderson. I was gonna say Kenny Anderson. Kenny Anderson. But NBA. He's an NBA analyst, right?
Yeah, for 3.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, Robby Anderson, and when we were draft season, I was just like, that's about the sketchiest guy I could draft right now. That's a surprise for me.
I would say another thing. Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
Remember Aaron Rodgers? We wrote him off, and not to say that he wasn't. I would never say he's not talented. Even though I'm a Bears fan, you can't deny greatness, whatever. But the fact that last year they went to NFC Championship, yada yada. They went 13-3, I believe. And they did not do what they're doing. Like, they ran the ball. They ran the ball. You know, even from a fantasy perspective, Aaron Rodgers was averaging, probably 16, 17 points a game at best. It's weird how I don't know, I know there was reports a couple weeks ago, like he was saying like he couldn't hear anything in the headset from the coach. So basically he's calling his own plays. No, he's really he's winning some stuff for people, right? Another one, James Robinson. I had some insider source and whatnot, but I heard some rumblings in February that they were looking to trade Fournette, and they've always been talking about that. You go back and forth about Fournette, man. He's a dominant force, but at the same time, he was not efficient with his carries. He just got opportunities, which in fantasy, that's all we want. That's all we look for. But when you hear that stuff, kind of gets you wondering and whatnot. And then, obviously, Chris Thompson came over from Washington. The quarterback of the coach, offensive coordinator, has a history with him. But James Robinson, man, I know he had a bad game, quote unquote, last week, but that was his worst game by far. And he would have had about 10 points, but they tried to do a wildcat trick play, and he fumbled the ball. He's going to throw it. They're trying to do some extra stuff. I don't expect that to have any effects. He'll be all right. It's just an off week. I tried to pick him up with a couple of leagues, couldn't do it. But at the same time, this might be the time with that game to strike on him. Because there's going to be some people impatient.
Yeah, he's not a big name.
No, he's not. They use him. They just use him pass game, run game, all that. He's getting it. So, you have anything else you want to talk about, Mr. Erik?
No, I think I got it all. Thanks, man. Wrap it up.
All right. Well, thanks everybody for tuning in. This is Fantasy Breakouts. We will be doing this twice a week. This week was a little different with the Tuesday night game, but we will be addressing that accordingly. Then have another one towards the end of the week, Friday, Saturday, just for future references and whatnot. But yeah, I'm excited. Thank you, Mr. Erik.
Yeah, check out. This is like the biggest ask. Check out. Got a couple of links in the bottom. Help us out. It's not free doing this, so we got a Webull Link and Amazon. It's Amazon Prime Day for another 2 minutes. So hit it up.
Who's that?
Thank you.
All right. Thanks, everybody. Till next time.